Hello, in this video I want to take a look at the planetary energy of June. We have 4 retrograde planets and 2 eclipses, so it will definitely be an eventful month. Saturn and Jupiter remain retrograde throughout the month, and Venus will be retrograde until the 25th. Mercury goes retrograde on the 17th until July 12th. And then finally, the lunar eclipse is on the 5th and the solar eclipse is on the 21st of June, which is the summer solstice. So there's a lot going on celestially with the planets, and June promises an opportunity of reversals and really wiping the slate clean for a fresh start. We will have a chance to make major changes and renew areas of our lives that are stagnant and really could benefit from a transformation. Anytime we have a retrograde, it tends to undo or reverse the effects that normally are given by that planet. So I want to draw cards for the 4 retrograde planets of June, which is Saturn, Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury. These are actually erasers that I drew planetary symbols on. I thought erasers were symbolic of what we could erase, remove, and clear out in order to create space for more positive changes and things to come. So generally, questions we can ask ourselves in June would be, what do I want to rewrite? What do I want to recreate? How will I be wiping the slate clean?
Hey guys, I just wanted to mention that if you would like some more information on the planetary retrogrades and how they specifically affect us, I put out a video called Triple Retrogrades of May on my new SunGoddess Astrology YouTube channel. I'll put a link to that in the description box below. So if you want to learn more about Vedic astrology, please check out my astrology channel. Okay, thanks.
So the first planet I want to start with is going to be Saturn. And I'm just going to pull a card from the self-care deck first. Questions that we can really ask ourselves in regards to Saturn is, what does my work do for me in my life? Does my work really matter to me? Also, how am I using my time? What are my priorities? And what needs to be reorganized? So those are some questions that Saturn will be asking of us this month. Let's see what this comes up with. Say, honor your top priorities. So again, I was saying, what are my priorities? What are your top priorities? If it's not an absolute yes, then it's a no. Okay? So some big decisions will have to be made with Saturn as far as scheduling, as far as how you organize your time. How are you using your time? Is it working for you? Okay. Let's see what the universe has your back deck then says. This card. When I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. The word joyful very much seems to be like a Jupiter type of word, and also the sun. But this part really here, I attract support from the universe. Support is a key word that can be described with Saturn. So support your foundations, asking for help, getting connected, and just finding things to be joyful about and connecting to that joyful energy. It almost gives me this sort of like whistle while you work sort of energy here, which is like, are you enjoying what you're doing? Okay. Okay. Saturn really has to do with our responsibilities and tasks, our work, not just our career, but what we do on a day-to-day basis. So it talks about having faith. Again, another key word of faith here is very much Jupiter, but I am pulling for Saturn here. So it says, your prayers are manifesting, remain positive and follow your guidance. So remain hopeful, remain optimistic, have faith that things will work out. Saturn can be a little bit of a heavier energy. So it's saying to find ways to uplift your energy, find joy in your life, reconnect with faith. Okay. And then I'm going to see what message we've got here from the Ascended Masters oracle deck for Saturn. This one. Persistence. Okay, persistence and patience and keeping on, just doing it, doing the work. Being consistent is definitely going to help you with the Saturn retrograde. Okay, so June is really asking you to just stick with it. Persevere. Keep doing it. Don't give up. All right. Let's see what the tarot has to say. So this is from the Ethereal Visions deck here. Let's just pick a card. Saturn. 10 of Wands. Okay, so this card really does show you what Saturn can feel like. I did mention it's going to be a heavier energy. It can be a heavier energy that we do feel. There's an overloaded amount of work that this person has, or he's feeling like there's just a lot of responsibilities, and you may be feeling that way too. It's very much shown in this picture. It's depicted of that energy, but you see this trail behind him. Like he's still persevering. He's keeping on. He's not giving up, and you will reach your goal. You will reach the goal. The 10 of Wands is saying you're like so close. You're almost there to your goal, and just one step at a time. And if you need to take a break, then take a break. Set down the bag. Pause for a minute, but you need to reach your destination. Okay, so don't give up before you reach your goal. Okay, so that's a very important message for Saturn. I just love how it really shows the impact and the gravitas of what he's carrying, and that's very much Saturn. It's kind of this heavy gravity sort of energy. Okay, so then lastly I want to draw from the Lenormand deck. Okay, it is this one. There's two that just keep wanting to pop out together, so I'm going to look at both of them. Okay, so we've got Dog and the Sun. This is kind of like a psychedelic looking kind of Lenormand artistic depiction here, but the Sun is very much looking like this persistence, and it also resonates with that joyful word here. Finding light, finding joy, finding time for play, and to not overwork yourself, to not overburden yourself with just all responsibilities. Are you creating time for not just your goals, but also things that are fun and that make you feel good? It's important to schedule time for you, right? Prioritize your day, schedule your day. Okay, and then we've got the Dog here, which is all about companionship and loyalty. Okay, so again, that companionship may be about support. Okay, people around you asking for help. That's what I did get earlier. And also, yeah, loyalty, dependability, reliability. Those are all the things that the Dog has to do with. And those are also keywords of Saturn. So don't give up, persist, keep going after your goal. And again, is your work bringing you happiness? It doesn't matter to you. Okay, so I am seeing that message really play through here with the Saturn. Am I feeling enlightened? Do I feel joyful while I'm working? You see the Sun sort of illuminating his third eye right here, so he's got the vision. You may be definitely holding your vision. Hold your vision for June. Okay, just keep that goal in mind. Okay, Jupiter is next. Let's start off with this. Okay, so please tell me about Jupiter. What's the message for Jupiter for June? So Jupiter asks us, what do I believe in? Is it still ringing true? Okay, is what I believe still ringing true to me? How can I practice what I preach? Am I listening to my inner truth for guidance? Okay, it's all about truth and trusting. Do I trust what I am hearing? Do I trust what I am feeling? How can I find my inspiration? Those are going to be things that Jupiter is asking us in June. Okay. It's this card. Take a risk. You have the power within to move mountains. Okay, I love it. So doing something a little risky, doing something out of the box that pushes you outside of your comfort zone. I think that's really the best way to use the Jupiter energy in the month of June. Okay? Believing in yourself and having that power to move mountains. She also has like a little bit of an aerial view where she's seeing things from above. And Jupiter really is about objectivity, seeing things with the bigger picture. Okay? So, you know, taking a risk, doing something you wouldn't normally do may be a good thing for you to do in June. Let's pull from the Universe Has Your Back deck here. What's the message for Jupiter for June? In every moment, the universe is conspiring to bring me toward right-minded thinking and the energy of love. Okay, I like that. So the events that are happening is just one step closer to correct thinking, to right-minded thinking, and feeling content, feeling love, feeling abundance, feeling secure, feeling like you're enjoying what you're doing as well. I like that, right-minded thinking, the correct thinking. Okay. All right, let's see what the mermaids and dolphins have to say. What's this? Ready, set, go. Wow. Okay, it's really like you're about to embark on some exciting new endeavor that you can just dive right into. It says now is the perfect moment to dive in and embrace your heart's desire. Looks like she's getting ready to take a leap. Looks like you're about to leap here. So there's something that's really exciting that can really create a big difference in your life in this month of June. And you're just, if you believe that you are ready, it's saying you are ready, but believing that is very much all about that Jupiter energy too. Okay. Are you trusting that the universe is connecting you and conspiring to bring you to the right places, to the right people, or to the right situations? Okay, let's see here. The Saints Oracle deck. Ascended Masters. Open your heart to love. Jesus. Okay, very much connects with the energy of love here and the energy of love. This to me just talks about, I mean, Jesus was a figure who was very sacrificing, very self-sacrificing for the greater good and for other people. So charity almost really comes up with this, right? And also miracles, by the way. He did perform miracles. And so I do see that with Jupiter, having faith, taking a risk, creating big changes, moving mountains, really is something significant can happen. Opening your heart to love, allowing more. Jupiter always expands and gives us more. So more love is coming into your life if you allow it and you basically take a risk, maybe get out of your comfort zone again. I like these messages. Okay. Let's see what the tarot then has to say here for Jupiter. What's this one? Page of Wands. Now, Page of Wands is the messenger. Okay, so we have a messenger energy here. Information, news, correct thinking is really, or that right-minded thinking. Now, I literally think of the right-minded being like right-brained, creativity, and thinking out of the box and not so linear. And that also can really connect well with this taking a risk and just diving in and seeing miracles in your life. So there may be some chance encounters that can come in for you to take. So if there's an opportunity that presents itself for you in June, take it. I really feel like there's something coming in that's maybe unexpected or unplanned. And it's just like, you know what? Go for it. Go with it. Okay. Trust that the events are connecting. Okay. And everything is kind of building up here for you on your path. Okay, so let's draw a card for Jupiter from the Lenormand deck. Okay, all right, so you've got letters. This is literally what I see here with news, letters, information, messages coming in, communication, okay? These are very much like mercurial type energies, but I feel like the news is going to be positive since it is about Jupiter. It's important news that comes your way, important information, okay? So you will be hearing something in the month of June that allows you to expand your heart for love and loving your circumstances, loving the people around you. I think you're ready. Then pull a card for Venus here. Now, Venus, what is she really about? So she's about, you know, enjoyment, pleasure, relationships, money, things like that, comforts, everything that money can buy, really, that makes us kind of happy on a surface level, even though money can't buy happiness. It's like creature comforts, that sort of thing. So in June, when Venus goes retrograde, she's going to be asking us, what do I truly value? What is valuable to me? How am I loving myself? Because she's all about love, right? So how am I loving myself and loving others? You know, what dynamic needs to change in my relationships? Am I expressing myself creatively? So these are all questions that can really come up with, or what Venus will be asking us here. Okay. What's this one? Ask for help. Receiving is an act of generosity. Okay, wow. You've got this figure down here looking up towards the heavens, towards your guardian angel, towards your guides, you know, God, or a powerful figure, a person who has authority, or, you know, some resources or whatever that may be. Okay. And I think of resources, I think of money too. So allow yourself to receive. Okay. Let's see what the universe has your back has to say. Venus retrograde. Hope is a conduit for miracles. This very much feels like the Jupiter theme, doesn't it? But I like that. I like that for Venus. Having hope for your relationships. Having hope for greater prosperity, greater abundance, greater resources. And miracles can happen as well. I'm really getting this theme of like miracles with both the Jupiter and the Venus, except this one expressly writes it, so that's very direct. Okay. Synchronicities. This reminds me of like serendipity or fate or fated interactions, and there are two dolphins here. So it does look like you will be crossing paths with somebody. It looks like a divine meeting. And it looks joyful too. I love this imagery on this card. It says your prayers and questions are being answered by synchronistic events. Notice them in order to increase their flow. Wow, okay. So it talks about prayers being answered. And I feel like there's kind of that imagery that we see here of like being helped, receiving what you need. And then the miracles coming in, synchronicity. Wow, beautiful messages. Okay. So let's see what the Ascended Masters has to say. See the other person's point of view. Well, isn't that important in relationships? So, okay. Seeing the other person's point of view will help you align with your partner, with whoever you're dealing with, any sort of relationship, seeing things from their perspective as well. And that's the easiest way to diffuse any sort of tension. Okay, I definitely get that there's like that alignment here. Like it almost looks like there's a crossing here, or like maybe crossed wires, or like you maybe on a different page of someone, but you're still in alignment. And here it almost looks like you're then coming to this alignment of, you know, being on their side, which will then make them on your side. So it's kind of like a win-win situation. If you want someone to agree with you, first agree with them, as a little trick to that. Okay. Let's see what else we've got here for Venus retrograde. Okay, Seven of Wands. This often indicates battles that we don't have to fight. Okay, we can fight them, or maybe we're feeling backed into a corner where we have to defend ourselves, but it's not as important to be right in our relationships as it is to be kind, right? So this looks like this person is definitely fighting a battle, and it's kind of never ending as well. You've got all of these things kind of being thrown at. I mean, he's like very firm on his stance, right? But it doesn't have to be a battle, especially if you put yourself in the other person's shoes, or you align yourself with that other person. You're no longer having to struggle or, you know, have any sort of conflict. You know, there's no, you can ease tensions basically. So, okay. Also, this person is constantly responding to other people. And I think it's important with Venus retrograde that we take a minute to stop, pause, and reflect in order to respond appropriately instead of just reacting constantly to other people. Okay, because Wands is very quick energy. So it's just sort of like sudden, like just throwing it back. And I think it's important with this, just for the sake of harmony in your relationships and, you know, your overall happiness and what you're getting in your relationships, to kind of not engage so much with that challenging energy. Okay, so let's look and see what we've got here for Venus retrograde. Bear. Okay, when I think of bear, I think of protection, I think of security, I think of mother bear, right? Protecting her young. So protecting your inner child maybe as well. But I also think of what do bears do? They look for honey, right? They look for the sweetness in life. And that's very much, that sweetness of life is very much Venus. But the bear can just talk about like, you are safe, you are secure, okay? You don't have to worry. And bears, what else do? They store for the winter, right? So they collect, they are reserving their energy, and preserving their energy, reserving their energy for when it really matters. And I feel like that's what I'm seeing here with that Seven of Wands energy. Okay, so that would be the message for Venus retrograde. Now let's look at Mercury retrograde. Okay, so we'll start off with the self-care card, please. Tell me for the Mercury retrograde. So Mercury really can ask us questions about like, what do I need to rethink? You know, everyone really kind of trips out over Mercury retrograde, but it's not really the most dire circumstances usually. It's just maybe sort of little annoying things that happen, but it's really there to serve a purpose. So things that can come up is like, can this wait? Can it wait? What needs more research? What needs more research or planning before I take action? Okay, it's a great time for research. You know, also, what stories am I telling myself? Because Mercury is all about communication, not just how you communicate with other people, but how are you talking to yourself? How are you communicating with yourself? And also, you know, Mercury is all about cognition and understanding. So maybe what do I need to rethink? Okay. Let's see what comes up. Mercury retrograde message for June. Listen to your wise self. Let your inner compass direct the course of your life. Okay, so are you listening? A big part of communication is listening, right? Looking inside yourself. Are you hearing yourself? Are you trusting what you hear? Okay. So it's more about the internal dialogue and listening. That's the best way, I think, to use that Mercury retrograde energy, because sometimes Mercury retrograde can overdo it. So we want to explain, and just talk and chat, and it's too much verbal energy. Okay, so calming it down, but going within, meditating, listening, really reflecting as well. We see her reflection in this image. Very important message. Okay. Let's then see what the dolphins and mermaids have to say. Mercury retrograde. June. Rest. You've been working hard, take a nap and get some rest. I feel like there can just be like a bit of a mental overload, and where you can feel depleted or burned out, you know, and it just feels like a state of calm. That also will help with this Mercury retrograde. There's just a lot of intense energy with all these planets moving backwards or moving towards us. They're not technically moving backwards, but when they're retrograde, they appear to be moving closer to the Earth. Their energy can be felt more intensely. So there's just a lot more we can just feel like burned out on. And I think it's important to maybe take naps as well. And I did kind of get that energy here with like this Saturn card, where it talked about like, don't give up, but if you need to take a rest, then rest. Taking a nap, I think, is also very important. Making sure you get enough sleep, turning off and powering down your devices before bed, at least an hour before bed, because devices, communication, technology, all of that is very much Mercury retrograde. Moses, take charge of the situation. Look at how this imagery is in this card with this flow of like this ocean coming at Moses, but really the story is about how he parted the sea. It's interesting, we have another biblical figure here. So we have Jesus and Moses. So we have like the Old Testament and the New Testament of the Bible. But interestingly enough, both of them created miracles, right? So taking charge of the situation, creating space is really what he's doing. And it's so much here with this like flow of the ocean waves behind this mermaid and this shell. You can see like this similar energy. It's like a flow or maybe even a tidal wave of information or communication. And it's saying create space for yourself to rest and listen. I like that. We already used this deck. Let's see, what do we need to do next? So, okay, the universe has your back. In any moment, I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. Okay. In any moment, I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. I like that. Prayer, again, communication, asking for what you want. Knowing what you want is first important before you even ask for it. And knowing what you want, how will you know unless you listen, right? Contemplation time, going within, being reflective, and stillness, quieting the mind. It's very important for your mental health to create space. Okay. And then lastly, we're going to pull a Lenormand card for the Mercury retrograde. I might even pull a few cards for the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse, since those are also important astrological influences this month. But let's look here at Mercury retrograde. What we've got. Anchor. Anchor is something solid, right? Solid foundation, solid mindset. It's being anchored in something. And I think it's like basically the opposite of sort of being taken away or carried away and just sort of, you know, flying and flapping through the breeze, which Mercury can tend to be unsettling and ungrounding. So I very much get like a grounding energy. So take time to rest, take time to be quiet, listen to yourself, okay? Be still. This is very much a still and solid image here, okay? So that's really what I'm seeing for the planetary retrogrades. This is actually really enlightening, and I like enjoyed doing this. Let's see what we can get for the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse energy. Okay, so the first pile will be lunar, and then the second pile will be solar. Okay. Bonus messages. So the lunar eclipse again is on the 5th, and then the solar eclipse is on the 21st, the summer solstice. Usually lunar eclipse energies can be felt like right away, where it takes a little bit more time for the solar eclipse energy to take changes and be felt. Lunar eclipse, solar eclipse. Now, the peace of mind is really what I get here. And you can even see, it's so interesting. Look how blue it is. It looks like the moon energy. And we see the sun here. It's kind of fading behind this blue. Interesting. Embrace your confusion. Let there be peace in not knowing all the answers. That can be, seriously though, the lunar eclipse can really create confusion and a lack of clarity. So it's important to know that that's not supporting that. It's not supporting you to understand everything, especially with all these retrograde planets. So just kind of surrender, go with the flow, and be okay with not knowing the direction that your life is going, and knowing all the answers. It's okay. I think that would be the most appropriate use of that energy, instead of creating extra stress and trying to figure it out. It's in being at peace. Okay, so early June kind of feels like there may be some confusion, really not knowing what's going to happen, and that's okay. Embrace it. I feel like we've been in this energy, but things may be coming to a front, or coming to a head with that. And then we've got the wisdom card. So for the solar eclipse, it says, let go of the need to control. Trust in the wisdom of a divine plan. So I feel like there's like very much like, yes, peace and wisdom, but I also get this sort of sense of like surrender and faith or trust. Okay. Nice messages. I feel like the lunar eclipse is going to, personally for everybody, it's going to have a greater impact on your mindset. Okay, so the lunar eclipse is on the left, solar eclipse is on the right. Let's see what we got here. This one? Okay, yeah. Dream big. You're being helped. Okay, the dreams, again, feel very much lunar. The energy looks very similar here, where they're really kind of contemplating, and it's just very blue. And looks like nighttime as well. Calm, cool, reflective. Okay, dreams literally could be coming up where you end up dreaming more. Your dreams could be influenced. So I see that as a literal interpretation. So if you're getting a lot of active dream imagery, write everything down, record it. And it says, let go of small thoughts about yourself. See yourself succeeding. Okay. So you're being helped for the solar eclipse. Heaven is working behind the scenes to help you, even if you don't see the results yet. So again, letting go of control is sort of not having to figure it out all on your own. Kind of lets a lot of the pressure off. Kind of looks like there's like this ice or something that's being shattered as well. It's very much that breaking things apart or redoing things, erasing things, letting things go, letting the pieces fall as they will, and trusting that it will all come together. Okay, there's more to the story here. There's more than that's going on than really meets the eye. and just trusting that you're being helped, even if you don't see it yet. So June is going to be sort of a reconfiguring month. We already knew that, but this is how it's really playing out more specifically. Okay, so the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse, 5th and the 21st. I love it. Okay. So for the lunar eclipse, it says, there is nothing sexier than my authentic truth. Okay. Being true to yourself. Okay, being authentic. Absolutely, that's the most attractive thing. And it kind of feels like it ties into like this letting go of small thoughts about yourself, like self-confidence, self-esteem, seeing yourself succeeding. I think that's really, really connected to this, you know, being attractive, having a sexy mindset as well. It will attract the right people. Okay. And then with the solar eclipse, it says, I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness. I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness. And in this frame, you have this wise owl that's just very still and just kind of waiting for the right moment to really reveal itself. It almost feels like it's waiting for morning, waiting for the morning. So at the end of June, there's something I feel like that's yet to be revealed that will end up coming to the light in July. I really feel that. Okay. So let's see, the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse here. Lunar, solar. Interesting that we have this moon here behind Thoth. Okay, so Thoth is an Egyptian god that keeps the records. So he's a record keeper, and it's all about writing out your feelings and emotions, especially if you're feeling confused. Maybe doing some automatic writing or some channeling through writing. That might really help you. And I also did see like maybe writing down your dreams as well. It could be writing down your goals as well, writing down what you, like if there's certain inspirations or things that come to you earlier on in the month, write it down so that you don't forget, put it on paper, and maybe act it so that you can still act upon them later. Okay, the solar energy, solar eclipse energy, we have crystals. So maybe work with crystals, especially crystals that are clear and bright. Okay, I feel that. Cleansing energy, maybe even some black crystals. I'm seeing black and white and yellow are the three colors that I'm really seeing for crystals. So for the solar eclipse energy, more like, so maybe black tourmaline, obsidian, clear quartz, milky quartz, even like a light or opaque kind of colors like clear rose quartz or something like that. Any sort of quartz I think would be fine. But maybe meditate with crystals. Use them. Use your resources if you're into that. Maybe charge them as well. Okay. So then lastly, I'm going to pull a couple of these Lenormand cards for the lunar and solar eclipse. Oh, heart and star. I love it. Okay. So the heart has to do with love, right? And here we get this like attractive energy, feeling attractive, feeling sexy, feeling like you're in love with yourself, feeling like you can attract that from other people, or having that connection in your relationship. Okay, so the heart is also like, you know, how you're feeling, listening to your heart, basically following your truth. Okay, and maybe getting out of your mind and getting into your heart. Okay, feel your way through the lunar eclipse. It's not really a time to, it skews discerning. It kind of distorts perception. And so if you know that, It says, you know, feel your way through it. Use your senses instead of so much of the logical aspect, okay? And then with the solar eclipse, we've got the star, which I always look to be as like, you know, well, the stars, so astrological influences, but also hope and faith. And it really ties in well with this trust, hope, and faith, trusting in the divine plan and the timing of things. You're being helped. Maybe there's a friend that is helping you as well, or, you know, angels, guides, God, that sort of thing. So stars, it's like make a wish as well. You know, pray to the lucky stars. That's what I'm really getting with the star card. Okay. All right, so this was the messages for the retrogrades of June. I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you like my content, please subscribe. See you in the upcoming videos. Take care. Be well.